Wow. No jokes. No jokes. I hate this. My card here is so bent up. It's like it's not. We're freezing to lay flat. It bugs me, guys. It bugs me, guys. All right. So your underlying energy, guys, is the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles talks about moving very slowly, right? It takes taking time to really look at the details, look very closely at a certain situation. And I feel like with the Knight of Pentacles, there could be hesitation in a certain sense. Somebody is really working very hard, but this is also kind of really a procrastination type energy. This could be somebody offering new love as well, or offering something that's stable. But then again, this is a very slow offer, the slow progress happening, but still progress. Okay, from potentially a knight. Okay, no. Excuse me, from a King of Wands. There we go. Couldn't get it out for some crazy reason, but whatever. So y'all are either making an offer to a King of Cups or King of Wands, someone that you feel that is very attractive, very alluring in their energies, potentially. This could be, a Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, but it doesn't have to be. This could be someone that you feel is very active, very passionate about the things that they love, very passionate in life, they have a very fiery kind of like energy. They're very hot tempered, or they're hot headed potentially, but I really feel like with this individual, they when they like something or they want something, they definitely go and get it. And it's the pursuing aspect of them to try and seem like you're not trying to lean on to them or something like that. It can be a little bit annoying. I don't know. I feel like with the King of Wands, he has a lot of people around him potentially a lot of the time. So that's probably why looking at the details, trying to figure out if this individual is someone that is potentially your type, that could be one of those things too that comes up. Now, speaking of types and figuring out whether it is or not, you have the Seven of Cups here, excuse me. Seven of Pentacles is here. Seven of Cups is coming up in your current state of being. So yeah, there's a lot of options available to you, or potentially, or maybe there is just a lot of confusion and a lot of uncertainty with a lot of things. I mean, this is Fantasyland, right? This is really a wonderful place to be because you have everything that you possibly could want if you wanted it. But it's just kind of all boils down to the decision making, right? What it is that you want out of all of that. Also, this could be that you see someone that's very lovely in the outside, but you have no idea what they're like in the inside. I think this is just kind of like the glitz and glamour kind of card. That's why I always say it. And it can be kind of, I don't know, it can be kind of, difficult to see someone in a very unhappy light, typically, but I feel like this person's always like cheery and, uppity, like their energy is always high. So it's like this person like drives with you, right? In a very lovely sense on the surface. But it's about looking deeply and looking past the surface, like the Knight of Pentacles does here, that really kind of gives you information about an individual. Now, your goal is the Two of Wands. So it's honestly just making a decision and running with it. I think that for some of you guys, you may be wanting to just do something that you feel is like, in the right direction. It's kind of hard, right, to just kind of be able to just pick something and run with it. But I feel like that's just it. You just want to make a decision and run with it. I feel like deep down in Pisces, there's really no wrong decision in whichever you pick. It's just that, you want it to be a decision where you don't have to be like, oh crap, let me make a U-turn. I get that. But ultimately, you want to make a decision and you want to go with it. But the thing that's keeping you from making a decision right now is the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands is coming up as like the hindrance, right? So perhaps you guys are standing your ground, or maybe you guys are defensive, or maybe you're not defensive about something, or maybe standing up for something or standing up for yourself in some way. That, or you're just defensive altogether. Like the reason why you're not able to make a decision at this time is because there is a bit of defensive energy, potentially because you've been waiting for a long time. You started seeing some patterns, some blossomings of your seeds, whatever you've been putting into your relationship recently, or something that's been going on. You've been putting a lot of work into something and you're starting to see the results of that, and you're not necessarily sure whether or not to drop it or not, but at the same time you're still defensive regarding it. Like there's still something that you still feel like there's potential in a way, but then at the same time you're not necessarily sure you want to put in that work to do it, to make it work. especially because you've been defensive about this for quite a long time, especially with this being in your outcome. That means you've been on defense for some time. So that's why looking at other options feels like a great, it looks great and all, but at the same time, you've put some work into something. Whether this is dating someone, whether this is being in a relationship with someone or being married, whatever have you, there has been some work that was put in. Therefore, you're still a bit on guard about it. Like, you're not on guard, like you're feeling defensive about the work that you've done. I feel like it's just like there's more work that still needs to be done, and you're not necessarily sure if that's what you truly want to do. Well, the star is coming up here in your hopes and fears, and it's talking about regaining hope, healing, manifesting. Okay, so I feel like for a lot of you guys, if you guys have been in a situation where you've been dealing with somebody that's been slow, seriously, like a headache to work with, it's like this, and you still feel like you have something with this individual, I feel like the star is really indicating here that there is still hope. There's still something you can build off of this relationship. It may feel like it's like a mile and 2,000 like light years away, but at the same time, if love is all that matters, then, with the Seven of Pentacles, it will just, eventually shift into the Eight of Pentacles, where you're just focusing on each individual problem, making them work, like the Knight of Pentacles here is. But at the same time, the star is like, do you truly see that there is something to regain with this individual? The star is a reset button. It's like the star, it's right after the tower, when the tower just knocks down everything and destroys it all up. And now you have to start over, right? The star is like, let's start over. Let's start fresh. Let's go ahead and go off on a new adventure. What dreams do you have that you feel are out of reach? And why do you think they're out of reach, right? But I feel like most importantly, this is about healing. So whatever has been going on, I feel like maybe there is a need for healing at this time because of everything that you've been through with this individual, fighting for what you believe in, standing up for yourself, and then going through the constant effort to make, to adjust and find the right, place to be in a relationship in regards to communication, whatever effort that you've been making to make this relationship stable. Well, it's been draining, it's been exhausting, it's been putting you in a lot of under a lot of pressure. So the star card could be talking about healing, taking some time out, but ultimately restarting, building something new, or going on a new adventure altogether. Now, with justice coming up in your feelings, you guys feel like you are currently balancing the scales, or you guys are currently dealing with some energy that is balancing the scales, getting some balance in your life. You guys could be dealing with a Libra, but this is not necessarily. This doesn't always have to be a Libra. This could be any. This could be that. Exactly. You are adjusting the balance in your life. Okay, you're making sure that you are being compensated for, and that the person is being compensated for it as well. Like you're just maintaining or readjusting some things. This is also closure for some people, and this could also be marriage. Okay, just like how death can be death is also rebirth. Justice isn't just divorce or apologies, it's also union and contracts and things like that. So for some of you guys, this could be legal stuff that you're dealing with, but this is just focusing mainly on love. So for some of you guys, this could be that you feel like a union with someone. You feel a union with this individual. That's why it's like you're not really 100% out of the situation. Like you're still somewhat involved with this person. Like you want to be somewhere with this individual. That's why you're still somewhat defensive, and that's why making decisions about what you want is hard to do, especially when it comes to what you've been putting up with for a while. But then this is a new start, though. This is a new beginning. You have the opportunity to come up with something new and just go ahead and go for it. And if they can't catch up, this person's slow, right? They can't catch up, But ultimately, the justice card is like you feel a union with this person, I feel. Not that there's a divorce, not that there was apologies, but you feel like there is something that is uniting you and this individual. Like there's some sort of strong karmic bond between you and this person. I would definitely majorly think of a strong karmic bond if I saw the devil, but it could still be somewhat of a karmic bond between you and this individual. Well, this is why potentially you have a lot of defense. You're on the defense here, and you have sevens coming up. There's a lot of change going on, and remember, magic happens in threes. So Got some serious stuff coming through. Now, in your hopes and fears, you have the Ace of Wands. You really want to start something new. You want to start something different. You may want to reconnect with an ex. Now, with the Ace of Wands coming in, that usually is like the rekindling of an old flame. But for some of you guys, this could be that you just want to bring in a little bit more passion into your love life. You really want a new passionate beginning, feeling at least a little bit somewhat driven and enthused about where this relationship can go. And it hasn't been much of a roller coaster. It's just been more of hard, diligent work and just making sure that you are, you're compensated, making sure that you're, not being mistreated. You're standing up for yourself in this relationship. That's great, but it's still a lot of work, So yeah, all understandable, right? You want to start something new. You want to go off and you want to, you want to enjoy something. You want to go in a path of where you enjoy something. But in your outcome, you have the Nine of Wands. And this talks about feeling very exhausted and beaten down. But most importantly, you feel like you've come such a long way. You've come such a long way. And I feel like with the Nine of Wands, despite having to go through so many hoops and, fighting with so many individuals or fighting with this person particularly, they're not quite ready to give up because you've come so far and it's close to the ending of that cycle anyway. Like, that you guys have made a breakthrough at the end of the day. Okay, so this reading is pretty much talking about like making a decision about what truly makes you feel happy and something that really gets you on the path of something that can not only be very stable and long term, but something that you see is very valuable. Because from here and here, like, it's been one hell of a trip. Currently trying to figure out what it is that you want, so that way you can stop being so defensive, or you can stop feeling like you have to fight off and be very diligent on certain things. It's because you've been doing it for such a long time. You just want to find something new. You want to find something that you want, figure out what it is that you want, period, so that you can make the decision to just go off and do it and not feel like you have to put up with the craziness. Like, if you just have an idea what you want, things could potentially level itself out, right? But at the same time, you don't necessarily want to leave this relationship because you are invested somewhat into it. You have invested a lot into this relationship, despite the back and forth. What you have invested something in this relationship, and I don't think you want to figure out something to just completely leave this relationship. I feel like you want to figure out what it is that you want, so you can go on a new path with this relationship, because it's been one hell of a journey. You've seen the fruits of your labor starting to blossom, but you want to be you don't want to be defensive about this. It's like you're here now. It's great. We still have a lot to build on. What do we need to do to build? What else needs to be built on? What else needs to be worked on? And that's where the Star comes in, starting something new. But it's going to require you to have hope and faith that you are able to manifest this. You have magic coming up here. Sevens are magic in itself too. It's not just change, it's also very magical too. Very, very magical. And threes are magic in itself. So I really feel like if you believe that you can do something, the Star here, okay, healing from everything that you've been through, like really just taking the time out and loving on yourself. That's what the Star is all about. Just giving back to yourself even. So if you give back to yourself, I feel like making this new decision will be less daunting for you guys. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with your romance angels. What's going on with this? What's going on? Wow, love yourself first. Absolutely, that's what the Star is all about. Love yourself first, y'all. Give back to yourself. You've been through so much with this relationship. It's time to have a little bit of tender love and care to thou self. Okay. Love it. Okay. And it says, your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Ooh. It's true. And it's not about the attractive part, because, y'all know you're all attractive. But it's about feeling like you can go off and have another round, going in a direction with this relationship where you are rejuvenated and ready to tackle on the new path. If you're going on a new path exhausted, you're going to be like, man, I don't know if I can do this, because you just give me a headache. All right, Pisces. All right, Pisces, your whispers of love for this week is, ooh, demonstrate love. Find out what is important to the people you love and act on it. Ooh, I was just thinking that, right? For those that were, that could be possibly the vice versa, right? They've been defensive and it's been a lot of work, but they've been very potentially selfish in the relationship and they're now trying to figure out what they can do to revitalize the relationship. Maybe this is time to show your love to somebody. Now, again, back to the original story. This could be that you may need to demonstrate love to yourself. Demonstrate that you love yourself right now, because again, you guys have been through so much. The individual that you're dealing with has to do what they do. Okay, if they can't love on themselves and give themselves TLC, that's their problem. You got to figure out what's up for you, right? What's stable for you? What really makes you guys feel good, and really heal yourselves. Because at the end of the day, like, right, you're the only person that really truly understands and loves you the way you love you. And that can truly love you ultimately with unconditional love. So love yourself with unconditional love. Love your partner with unconditional love. You guys have been through so much. I feel like you guys can make it work. It's just about figuring out what it is that you want to do, taking the steps necessary to make it happen. Okay?